Just looking at it, man, and just it's a lot, you know.
It's a lot, but
I remember this.
Today's December 16th.
Shit, I'm trying not to cry now, bro.
And I'm making this video when I'm finally free.
Just looking at me, man, knowing the state of mind I was in, if that makes sense.
what was the state of mind?
Bro, I was broken. Man, I grew up in a society, right, to where, oh my gosh, a lot of the things that I was taught to glorify was actually trauma, and I would never want that for my son or my daughter, you know? Yo, today is December 16th, 2020, and I'm making this video because I'm finally free. After giving up my freedom for quite some time, won't go into details, but I actually hit the lowest part of my life ever. A lot of it, we saying, oh, it's for the better for my kid, it's for the better my kid, but not only are you living vicariously through them, you're just trying to make sure they don't make those mistakes. So looking at that video, I had nothing. I went from making a lot of money, having a house, cars, women, all that stuff that, again, I was taught to glorify. And I literally lost all that shit because of a poor decision. That was literally the lowest point in my life. But if I'm being honest, brother, sitting down for as long as I did, yeah, I can say it now because I'm not in the situation, right? I needed it. I needed to sit down because I was wild. I was wild. I was not the person I would have wanted my daughter to date. I was not the person I would want my son to look up to. I was not the person who was making my ancestors proud. And when I say I was broken, I finally felt it. There was something tangible in my face and happening to me, reminding me, I don't want to say of the mistakes that I've made, but of what it's like to not listen to God. I was an inmate of the state of Maryland, in Upper Marlboro to be exact. Inmate 046886 TID 20820. Numbers I'll never forget for the rest of my life, but this is the face of a man who gave up his freedom. But this is also the face of somebody who's going to persevere. Dad was a tough dude. He's been locked, he was incarcerated the majority of my life, hence why the memories are so minimal. All the 80% of the pictures that I have of my father was me as a kid, and we taken jail post pictures because I went to go visit him. My mom's had me at a very early age, and now that I'm, if I'm being honest, we sort of raised each other. And as an 18-year-old, 17, 18-year-old young lady in Brooklyn, New York, in the streets, she did the best that she can. She worked with what she had. What kind of support she had, I don't really know besides grandmoms and stuff like that, right? But, my mom's life was hard too. I remember driving from DC back to New York to talk to my mom. Like, yo, Mom, I was looking this up, this is when I started having suicidal ideations, right? And I remember sitting her down and my sister was sitting next to her. And as I'm telling my mom what I'm experiencing, like what this feels like, I remember her, like, her energy, it just gave off. She wasn't paying attention. And then when she's smoking a cigarette, and she finally said, Sid, everybody goes through that shit. You just looking for, what she said, Sid, get out of here. Everybody goes through that. You just looking for, you're looking for somebody to feel sorry for you. You're not depressed. You ain't got anxiety and shit. You just looking for someone you're just looking for someone to feel sorry for you. And that broke me because yeah, and I drove 4 hours to, now that I'm thinking about it, for validation. I needed someone to tell me what you feel is normal, what you feel I've been through, but what you feel is valid. She literally said, her exact words, now get the fuck out of here, Sid. I didn't raise you to be like that. We all go through that. You're just looking for someone to feel sorry for you. And she walked off. My mom beat my ass my whole life. That was the worst ass whipping I got in my life. That was the worst thing my mother ever did to me. But I was a private failure, you know? Like in life, and like when I go home, I was hurt, I was struggling. I wasn't cleaning, I wasn't taking care of myself. I'm gaining weight like crazy, you know? But when I step out the house, it's time to perform. I'm the best thing since sliced bread and pants with pockets, you know? But I had to stay in somebody else's face to perform. I had to go in front of another woman to perform. I had to go get this job to perform. I had to get this degree, accomplish this in a career to perform. And now I created this thing to where I share this story so openly and freely to people. And he just talks about it like it ain't nothing. What they hear is the work that's been done since. What they hear is somebody who, at the last second, decided not to give up, but needed a little assistance. So God said, I'm gonna give you what you created, and your creation is gonna save your life. And that's what happened to me, bro. I don't care what nobody says. God answers every single prayer. But sometimes the answer is just no. And as you know, imperfect beings and made in his creation, he gave us the power of choice. And I can honestly say, there's a bigger purpose why you went. Even to me, attempting suicide, you know what I'm saying? Like, there was a moment where I promise you, I felt like God was sitting right there. And he said, yo, now that you went through this, I need you to take this and share it with the world, because my story was meant to be used as a roadmap for other people. And that's why I'm so passionate about not just mental health. I'm talking overall well-being for people who look, think, and feel like me. So outside of just providing mental health resources, access, and education, I feel it was very important to be, in addition to being a solution, I wanted to focus more on not just your mental and emotional well-being. I want to focus on the whole man. You know, I wanted to provide, again, resources, education, but also an alternative. I just gave you the story about, my time being incarcerated, and these men didn't have options. Now they do. Want to continue to allow the world to see the work that we're doing. I want them to see the origins of where we've come from. But ultimately, I want people to not just see, I want people to feel our impact. So partnering with Therapy is B.A.E, you contribute to a greater cause, and that's helping save our Black men, our leaders in our community, the resources that people are able to do on their own, but partnering with us, with our resources and yours, imagine how great that impact can be, even from a financial place. My name is Sid Jackson. I'm from Brooklyn, New York, and I'm the founder and executive director of Therapy is B.A.E. Therapy is before anything else. I'm gonna post this video in exactly a year from now, just to talk about the progress and also to show you how mighty my God is. I love everybody who showed support, everybody who wrote, everybody who put something on my books. Baby boy, you know I love you. Mouse, you know I love you. But again, y'all, God is great. God is great.